Governor Scott Walker spending this week announcing pieces of his forthcoming two-year budget plan says his proposal for a UW system public authority will transform education as Act 10 did for public schools 4 years ago.
And I think much like we saw after Act 10, for those who saw that initially as a budgetary reduction, it actually ended up providing great benefit to not only the taxpayers of the state, but ultimately to the people who relied on local governments as well as the state. The same thing will be true at the UW.
I can save costs with these flexibilities over time. I just can't do it next year or the year after that.
But UW-Madison Chancellor Rebecca Blank says the public authority won't immediately mitigate what would be a 15% budget cut to her campus.
Every one of my schools and colleges is going to feel this. There's going to be layoffs in every one of them. I'm trying to think very closely about how I can spread this outside of the state dollars, which are concentrated all in education, because I can't take this entirely out of my educational programs.
Blank admits some of the flexibilities will help the UW construct buildings cheaper and make decisions on pay and procurement. But she says the state also won't backstop any future change in energy or health care costs.
We are a semi-privatized institution under this new proposal because the state doesn't fill any budget gaps for us.
UW System President Ray Cross says he's supportive of the public authority model, but says a tuition freeze and a budget cut together are problematic.
But we hope the legislature will have a conversation with us, work with us, and with the governor's office to see if it's possible to reduce this cut to us.
Blank says she will go to the Board of Regents to ask for increases in out-of-state tuition if this plan passes, saying she, quote, just couldn't handle this without the ability to raise some tuition. She and other system leaders will hear more about the plan when the governor presents his two-year budget to the legislature on February 3rd.
All right, so to be continued. Thank you, Jessica.
Welcome.
And several prominent Republicans not immediately jumping on board with the governor's plan, including Senator Steve Noss from Whitewater.
He has been one of the UW system's harshest critics, and today he blasted the governor for giving the system more control.
My big concern is that when the tuition freeze goes off, the Board of Regents, a board that's not elected, that meets once a month, will be in free will to raise tuition to what they believe they need to continue on.
And Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says he has concerns about a cut of this magnitude, adding a significant amount of flexibility may be needed to manage such a large budget cut. He said the legislature will keep an open mind as lawmakers debate the plan.
Our team coverage heads to UW Whitewater, where faculty and students are absorbing Governor Walker's plan. Valina Jones has a story.
Governor Walker's proposed $300 million budget cut to the UW system comes a lot of concerns and unanswered questions for faculty members and students here at UW Whitewater.
It's sort of a continuation of what has happened for over a decade.
Dr. David Monroe has worked at UW Whitewater for more than 20 years as he looks toward the next 2 years, possibly filled with cuts. It's not only the faculty he's concerned for.
UW system has done a lot over the years as the budget cuts to really minimize the impact on the students. The problem is you can't hide it forever.
Despite a possible tuition freeze, Monroe's concerned students would face limited class options, fewer on-campus jobs, and a larger student-to-teacher ratio.
Availability of, opportunities. That's just, my first that comes out to me when budget cuts, you're losing possible opportunity.
Class availability is already limited, and I feel that if our budget gets cut even more, it's going to limit the availability even more.
With still a lot of questions, Monroe says the largest impacts from potential budget cuts may not be seen right away.
Ultimately, it's how the student, when they leave here and they get on a job, how well do they do, how well have they been trained? And sometimes it's hard to realize, if there's been a quality slip until it's too late.
The university's chancellor says while the potential impacts are still unknown, he does expect to see significant budget cuts in the future. A budget open forum is scheduled for this Wednesday to talk about how the university plans to move forward. In Whitewater, I'm Valina Jones for WISC TV News 3.